Hi, I'm Patu from FreeFinCal. I have been modeling COVID data for a few weeks now, pretty much ever since the lockdown started. And I have mentioned this before that the primary reason I did it was not because of any scientific pursuit or anything like that, but for my own emotional well-being. I had to understand what is the kind of growth and where we are heading to, and so on. So I have been publishing these on social media, in my Facebook wall and on Twitter and so on. I've had many questions about how I did it. Especially what people want to know is, how did this projected curve that you see here, that red curve that you see here, how did it fall down like that? How did I make it fall down like that, and so on. So I want to talk about how I did it, and I also want to talk about the dangers of predicting and how you have to be careful when you make these predictions, and an article also by Nassim Taleb in this regard. So let's get to that. So first I want to show you this graph. This is the total confirmed cases, number of cases in the state of Tamil Nadu. This is as on 20th June, that is today's data, after the state bulletin was published. Now I've seen some projections for COVID, and what they do is they project this graph. If you make a projection about this, if you do a fitting for this, and if you kind of put that line extended and extrapolated using some kind of power law formulation, some a plus x squared plus b plus b, I mean a into x squared plus b into x cubed and so on, you'll get some growth. And that's not going to tell you when your things are going to slow down and when you're going to see a peak in the number of cases and then it's going to fall down, so on. So emotionally, fitting this is not going to help me in any way, and so I did not do that. What I did instead was, in the case of the states, I took the total confirmed cases, the graph, and in the case of all India, I took the total active cases. So there's a slight difference, but the basic idea is the same. So what I did was, I took this total confirmed case. Let's do it for Tamil Nadu. That's my state, so I do it for that. Obviously, that matters to me. And what I did was to use this simple daily compounding formula. So today's total confirmed cases is equal to the total number of cases that was found initially. That's when the whole data was started getting published. The first total number of cases data into 1 plus some rate of growth, that is today's rate of growth, that is x today, to the power of number of days elapsed from the first day to today. So for example, if today's total number of confirmed cases is 50,000, in Tamil Nadu it has gone above 55,000, something like that today. So let's say it's today's confirmed cases is 50,000, and on the first day of the data series, the total number of confirmed cases was just 1. That's when the first COVID case came, into 1 plus the rate of growth for today, to the power the number of days that has elapsed between the first data, that is 1, and 50,000. Let's say it's some 120 days or something like that. So I have used this simple formula to calculate, which is the daily compounding formula, to calculate the today's rate of daily compounded growth. And today, if you use this 50,000 and 120 days, the x today would come out to be about 9.4%. Now what I did was to plot this x today, that is the rate of daily growth, versus time. If I did that, I will get a graph. This is the black line. The black line is the actual daily compounded rate of growth, that is that x today that's shown in the formula, and this is for Tamil Nadu. You can see it suddenly shoots up, goes up to 35% or so, and then it slowly starts falling down. And then there's this little bit of a inflection point here. That's when Tamil Nadu is faced increase in number of cases, because we had a Coimbatore market cluster. People who know Tamil Nadu, who live in Tamil Nadu, or who know of Tamil Nadu news, they'll know what I mean. And then after that, things stabilized, and then it started falling down. So what I do is I take the last 10 day, this rate of growth for the last 10 day, and I do a linear projection forward like this. So this is a rolling slope. Please recognize, when you do a prediction, you should not do one prediction and leave it like that. most of the time it will be wrong. Just like people do when they do retirement calculators, they do they calculate once and forget about it. That's just complete nonsense. You have to redo the retirement calculation every year. In this case, I'm doing it every day. Last 10 days. So because some days these guys test more, some days these guys test less, some days suddenly they say some bodies are missing, suddenly they say some cases they have not accounted for, and so on. So every day dynamics, things are changing so much. That is the reason why I do a rolling last 10-day prediction. Of course, I have faced a lot of criticism. We have a lot of armchair critics around us. Oh, this data is. I have seen people who have absolutely no clue about what I am doing. They'll say, oh, this data is wrong. This is garbage data. I mean, I don't care what people say. I mean, that's the only. I mean, the only way you can get something done in life is you ignore what people comment with. When people comment when they are clueless about what they are saying and they're just passing a random comment, you just ignore all that. So I know that things are changing dynamically. I know that testing is not enough. Tamil Nadu has significantly ramped up testing today. Today's testing is 35,000, I think, in Tamil Nadu, which is extraordinary high number compared to just 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. It was like 10,000, 12,000, something like that. So things are changing a lot, but you take that into account in your model by just looking at that slope every day, and you just move that 10-day window forward. Of course, why 10-day window, why 5-day window? I don't have any answers to it. I just intuitively took 10-day window. If I took 5-day windows, the projection could be different, but not too different is my lazy guess. But I'm not a scientist here. I just want to pursue this as an emotional, for my emotional sanity, instead of looking at reading newspapers. Oh, number of cases all time high. Oh, another 5,000 cases, another 10,000 cases. Instead of looking at all that, if you look at the number and if you understand basic power law growth, you can have some sanity about what's happening. That's the essential idea between the modeling, and this is the projected daily compounding in the future. And you can see it gradually falls down. It falls down below 10%, 9%, and so on, and it falls down. What I did is, just like you take these numbers and calculate x today, then you have this x today data, that is the daily rate of growth data, and then you extrapolate that x today, you'll get future x today data. That's the red line that you saw here. Using the red line, I recalculated the total number of confirmed cases or total number of active cases for all India. I recalculated using this rate x today values. I back calculated what would be the corresponding total confirmed values in future. And when I did that, that's when I got this curve. So when I do that, I automatically got this curve that fell down. People immediately say, when they see something, oh, it's a bell curve. It's not a bell curve, dumbass. Anything that looks like it is not a bell curve. Oh my god, this is just stupid. This is what happens when people who don't know any kind of statistics start commenting about statistics. 9 out of 10 people who say, or I would say 10 out of 10 people who say, oh, statistics is like bikinis, they reveal blah blah blah. Almost everybody who uses that have no clue about statistics. People who are formally trained in statistics will not say stupid things like that. They read some garbage popular book and pick up some quotes and act as if they are smart. Morons. So this is not a bell curve. This is a proper fat tail distribution. If you've been following Nassim Taleb, this is one such fat tail distribution. There are many names for it. There's a called a Parisian distributions and so on. This is one such distribution, not this one. It's actually, this is the fat tail. You can see it's falling down. Of course, the falling down will not be linear. I am doing a simplistic linear projection. It will be falling down gradually. It will be non-linear. Obviously, it will be a nice gradual fall. It's a non-Gaussian fall, and it's a extremely skewed distribution. And that's why it's called a fat tail distribution. It's got a very long. It's skewed and it's got a very long tail. It's lopsided. That's why it's skewed, and then it's a very long tail. So this gives me that kind of a fall. I'm not trying to claim this is right or wrong, but my gut feeling is I'm comfortable with this projection because what the daily compounding gives me a fat tail distribution. I don't know if it is the correct distribution. I don't know, but it gives me one, and it gives me some kind of target date. For example, 3 weeks from now, cases that are 55,000 would go up to in Tamil Nadu. to about 80,000 and then slowly start falling down. I mean, just because I've come here doesn't mean things are safe. That's not what I'm trying to say here. So this gives me it gives me some emotional sanity. And the number of it is extremely sensitive to the rate of that X today rate. The number of cases as well as the peak date will change from day to day. But if it follows the trend, it has not been changing too much. And this is the similar data for all India, and the orange dots is X today, the blue dots is the projection, and this is the projection for all India. We are close to peaking. What I can infer from here. Of course, Delhi is far from the peak. Maharashtra is very very close to the peak. Because things was very bad in Maharashtra, it will be the first case state to peak out and then fall. Then Tamil Nadu is close behind, it's coming. Delhi is going to take a little while, in my opinion. States like I have this data posted in Twitter and in Facebook in my wall, but you have to be my friend to see that, because I don't post to public. So this is what I do, and that's how I have been doing. That said, I understand that I'm not trying to claim this is some scientific pursuit. I don't care about that. I'm done with peer reviewed research for some time now. But I would like to also point out, to balance out, that Taleb has given a very nice explanation of what we should do. We should first try to understand what is the kind of distribution, instead of trying to make forecasts. You can't do one-time forecast. You can't forecast once and say, oh, it will peak out like that, and then expect it to follow that model. That's not what's going to happen. That's why I do the 10-day rolling return. It's a very nice arguments he makes about why we should first understand the type of distribution. I am comfortable with my modeling because it's a fat tail distribution. It may not be the correct fat tail distribution, but my guess is it gives me some kind of balance and composure on what's happening and what's going to pan out in future, of course, which I will keep updating. Thank you. Bye-bye.